Have you ever dreamed of quitting your job, selling everything, and moving to the country to start a homestead? Well, what if we told you it's possible? I'm Nader.
And I'm Alina, a couple who left the bright lights of Las Vegas behind for the peaceful landscapes of rural Tennessee.
With no prior experience in farming or country living, we decided to take a gamble on a completely new way of life.
Join us as we begin on this journey to build a homestead from scratch.
We'll be sharing our successes and our failures as we learn to live sustainably, raise animals, grow our own food, and adapt to a slower, more fulfilling way of life. So whether you're dreaming of a similar adventure or simply curious about how two city folks are faring in the country, subscribe and follow along for an exciting adventure.
Welcome to Sin City Country. Hi guys, and welcome to our channel. My name is Alina.
And I'm Nader, and we are Sin City Country.
Our channel called Sin City Country, and we will tell you our story why it is like this.
And by the way,
Nico.
That's Nico. You're going to be seeing a lot of him also. So, the reason we started this channel is because we just wanted a change in our lives. For the last few years, we've just been going through the motions of pretty much doing what everyone else is doing. Getting up in the morning, going to work, coming home. Days go by, weeks go by, months go by. Next thing you know, a year flies by, and we really weren't getting much satisfaction out of the lifestyle. We live in Las Vegas. That's where we're at right now at 𝐾𝐨𝐽 Basin. It's beautiful here. We have a beautiful house in Summerlin, and we have great friends and great family, but everyone's so busy with their day-to-day lives that we really don't get to spend much time with anyone. And at the end of the day, we just felt like there's not much satisfaction in this type of lifestyle anymore. We started watching YouTube a couple years ago. We started out watching sailing channels, and we really thought we wanted to buy a catamaran and go sail around the world. And we'd still love to do that, but what we realized is it's just we don't have the money for that. Buying a boat is a depreciating asset, and we really can't afford to take that risk right now. We're not independently wealthy. We don't have any income coming in, so this is a big risk for us. But, we feel it's something we have to do. I'm 51 years old right now, and we just feel like after the last few years, we've had a lot of friends and family pass away, seen a lot of people get sick, get cancer, and everyone tends to plan for the future. We speak to a lot of people, and they're like, yeah, and when we retire in 15, 20 years, we want to buy a farm and do the same thing that you guys are doing. And I always thought that was not the right way to live, because you don't know what the future holds. You don't know, you could get sick, you could die. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in 10, 15 years from now. So one of the main reasons we're doing this is, we hope to inspire you guys out there to go follow your dream. A lot of the channels we started watching, I want to give a big shout out to the sailing channels, Sailing Zatara, Spirit Animal, Adventure Cruise. Yeah, you guys really, we're living vicariously through you since we're not able to buy the boat. We're going to continue watching you guys and get our fix of the sailing world watching you. But during the whole span of our YouTube watching, we came across these homesteading channels. I think the first one we came across was, who did we first start watching? I think Matt and Cass, Runaway Matt and Cass. Those guys had bought a 32-acre farm in Tennessee.
More Than Farmers.
Yeah, More Than Farmers, those guys. Yeah, yeah. Annie of All Trades.
Tennessee as well.
Tennessee as well. So, we started watching these, and we just started seeing, like, how it's not an easy lifestyle. We're not here thinking that we're going to move out to the country and we're going to, live this easy lifestyle. It's going to be difficult. Yeah, so we made a trip out to Nashville. I had gone out to Tennessee, I think, one time prior. My friend, good friend Richard, who I met when I was living in Costa Rica, he had moved. We had separated, but we kept in touch, all the time and checked on each other. And he moved to California, and he was living in Alameda, and he decided to sell his house there and go buy a farm in Tennessee. So he went and bought this 1,200-acre farm in Dickson County, and I went out to visit him. It was probably 4 years ago or something, right after he bought the property. And it was nothing but a bunch of raw land and overgrown ticks. And at first I was like, wow, this is crazy. You bought this whole thing out there. And I could see in his eyes he took on, he thought more than he could chew. But years have gone by now, and I'd visited him another time, and then Alina has visited him with me twice. And every time we went out there, I'd be like, hey, listen, sell me some land. And he's like, I don't really want to sell any land. He doesn't need to sell the land. And he's done a lot of amazing stuff on it, which we'll show you. I mean, he built a beautiful house. He's starting to do cattle and a bunch of other projects,
Arena for
arena for horses and stuff. So we'll show you some of his stuff that he's done. But anyway, we've been pretty much, haggling with him and telling him, hey, listen, sell us some land, sell us some land. And finally, a couple months ago, this hasn't been a long process. So we just started talking to him about really buying the land a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And he finally said, okay, I'll sell you the land. And, we ended up buying it for market price. I'll be honest with you, it was like $8,100 an acre, which a lot of people think is a lot of money, but the area we're at, that's pretty much the going rate. It was a couple $1,000s an acre 4 years ago. Now it's about $8,000 to $10,000 an acre. So he decided to sell us the land. It's 34 acres, 2 separate parcels. When he agreed to sell the land, the price was $275,000. Now here's the thing, we're broke, and that's not an exaggeration. We are completely broke. Pretty much, I'm having to dip into a credit line on the house to survive right now. So here's what we did. I had to get very creative. At first, I thought I could just go get a loan because I do have 800 credit score, and I've never defaulted on anything. So I reached out to a bunch of lenders, and everyone said that when you're financing raw land, you need to come up with 50%. Well, we don't have 50%, so that pretty much got shot down. The next avenue I took was thinking about refinancing the house because I had a lot of equity in it. Spoke to a couple lenders, and they wanted to charge me like 2 points, which was like $20,000 and like 8% interest. So when I did the math, it was going to cost me about $50,000 to borrow $275,000 for a year, because what we plan on doing is selling the house once my daughter Shayla graduates high school. So I looked at those numbers and I just thought that was insane, Then I reached out to family members who have quite a bit of money. And of course, every single person gives you that lame excuse of like, oh, the money's tied up. So what I learned is trying to depend on friends and family when it comes to money, just don't even waste your time. So right as I was about to completely give up, I had called the broker that I work for, because I'm a realtor here in Las Vegas. I work for the Galindo Group. I called Josh and said, hey, do you know anyone who will do any hard money loans? And he said, try this guy, Randy. So I called Randy. I said, hey, listen, Josh said you might be able to help me out. Here's my situation. Don't have any money. My income is pretty crappy because, the economy hasn't been great. But I do have a house that's got a lot of equity, and I'm buying this piece of property. So what I'm willing to do is, if you give me a $275,000 loan, I will give you $25,000 up front and pay the loan off with 12 months or less time. So he's like, sure, let's do it. So I didn't have the $25,000, of course, so I had to go ahead and borrow it off the credit line that I have. So gave him the $25,000 up front. He lent the $275,000. So we closed on the property about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We haven't really explored the property, to be honest with you. We literally, last time we were there, the property was so overgrown. I mean, it was like chest high of, weeds and whatever else is out there, trees. So we pretty much only walked about 20 foot onto the property, and then we tried flying the drone, but you can't see the topography. You don't really know what's out there. So we're really, honest to God, we bought this property and we have no idea what we bought. So we're really hoping that
raw land.
Yeah, it's raw land. There's no power, no electricity, no water. There's not even access to get onto the property. So we're heading out to the property in a couple of days. So we'll take you guys along and we'll show you all this, and we're going to, take you along for the entire, journey through this, up and down. We don't know what's going to happen. This could be a disaster. But one thing I learned in life is, you got to try. Otherwise, what's the point? Yeah, you never know. And we can always come back to Vegas. I mean, Vegas will always be here. Vegas has been great for what it is, but it's so expensive now. I mean,
yeah, this is like another reason why we want to move to Tennessee or change the location where we live in. Because since coronavirus, Las Vegas became unlivable. It's extremely expensive. A lot of people moving here from California, selling their multi-million-dollar houses and buying property here like nothing. And for people who live here in Las Vegas, for locals, it's impossible to get a house right now. And also, the city became so crowded, and the biggest nightmare of mine to spend 2-3 hours of my day in the traffic, like in Los Angeles. Las Vegas getting there. It's overcrowded, it's expensive, and the climate, I'm from Belarus, for me it's a little bit too hot here. So it's a lot of different factors together, why it's Tennessee, why it's a small little town, why it's a rural area.
Yeah.
So we kind of get tired of Las Vegas.
Yeah, just tired in general of the city life. I mean, you know, the way things have been going, it just, you know, I don't see it getting any better, unfortunately. It doesn't matter who wins the election. I mean, you know, the trajectory is down, in my opinion, and just things are getting too expensive. The debt's out of hand. I mean, the end result of all this is going to be very bad, in my opinion. So we want to prepare for that. You know, we're not preppers, you know, we're not thinking it's the end of the world, but we want to become as self-sufficient as possible. We want to stop relying on, you know, outside food because, you know, pretty much everything you buy nowadays is, you know, laden with some chemical or poison or something. So we want to grow our own food, and neither one of us have any experience in this. So this is going to be, you know.
Oh, it's a journey.
Yeah, it's going to be a journey, you know what I mean? So, you know, big thanks to all those other YouTubers out there, like the ones we mentioned. You know, we're watching you guys, we're learning from you, and we're going to give it our all. You know, the place we're moving, I'm not going to specify exactly where we're at. I don't want the whole area to just be inundated with things, but we're in Dickson County, okay, in Tennessee. So that'll give you a broad range of, you know, where we're at. It's really centrally located because we're 45 miles from Nashville. We're about 15 miles from Dickson and about 20 miles from Clarksville. So we're far enough away to not have to deal with the hustle and bustle of the city, but if we do want to go into town, it's an hour drive at most. So we think we got, you know, the best of both worlds, to be honest with you. Give you a little background about ourselves. I mean, Alina, you know.
Yeah, I'm from Belarus. I moved to United States 15 years ago, and I moved directly to Las Vegas. So I moved to Las Vegas, I tried different profession without speaking English very well back there. Later, I think after 4 years living in the United States, I just got my passion for yoga and fitness, and I became a yoga teacher. In some point of time, I actually owned a yoga studio and started to teach Pilates. But in between, I also went to medical school. I spent 6 years studying medicine in Caribbean island, got back to United States, did my clinical rotation in Ohio and Illinois. This is another reason why I like Midwest and all the South states. I saw country life and I really like this quiet charm. So yeah, so I did some clinical rotation in the States, and unfortunately, I was not able to pass medical board exam. I think it's also my language, English issues, but it is what it is. I got back to my fitness career, and right now I'm teaching Pilates and doing personal training here in Las Vegas. I used to always like the big cities, the pace, the crowdedness, people. Well, after I turned 40, I kind of get tired of this, and I think that country lifestyle gonna be a good fit for me.
So I was born in Michigan, raised in Florida. I lived in a little town called Stewart, grew up, it was a small town, probably around 80,000 people growing up, and it was awesome. I mean, I had wonderful friends, we surfed all the time. Then I moved to Orlando, then Miami, then LA, San Francisco, lived in Costa Rica for 4 years. Pretty much been the jack of all trades. I've never really stuck with one type of, you know, job. I've always done my own thing. I started my own custom printing t-shirt company, ran that for 5 years before selling it. So this is just another adventure, you know. I just feel like it's time to make a move. I don't like the feeling of being on a hamster wheel. And what I mean by that is the repetitive day-to-day things, you know what I mean? So I think that's what most people do. They get caught up in this little, you know, rotation of just, you know, working, take your 2-week vacation. You know, we got a lot of people who hear what we're doing and they're like, oh my goodness, we wish we could do that too. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, you're worth like 100 times what we are. You know, we're not wealthy. We don't have jobs lined up. I mean, we're taking a big risk. And if you're not willing to take a risk, then you're never going to achieve anything because you have to risk it, you know? So, been here in Las Vegas for about 14 years. And, you know, my daughter is 17 right now, Shayla, and she's going to be graduating. So we're waiting to, you know, do the full move to Tennessee when she graduates. So what we're going to try to do now is we're going to try to do like one trip out a month if we can. I've got like 400,000 Southwest miles, so we're going to use that to make these trips. And we're leaving in a couple days. We're going to spend 4 days there. And I'll take you guys along with us. And what we need to do on this first trip is, number one, we're going to actually take a look at the land and, look as much as we can.
Walk in it.
Yeah,
not
walk
just
on
fly
it, drive
drone.
on it, yeah. We're going to meet with a couple excavator companies and, talk about, putting an entrance into the road and then find out where we might want to build our house. It's going to be a long journey. We don't have the money to just buy a house right now, so we're probably going to have to buy like a trailer or something and put it on the property. There's some rules and regulations we have to watch out for. I mean, you can't just take a RV and live on the property, but once you file for a building permit, then you're allowed to live in an RV until your project is done. We've also applied for a farm card. So once we have the farm card, whenever we buy anything for the farm, which would be equipment, tractor, side-by-side, all these things, you don't have to pay any sales tax. So it saves considerable amount of money. Tennessee really, tries to encourage farming and everything, which is a big plus for us. So,
and meet neighbors.
Yeah, we got to meet our neighbors. Yeah, we have one neighbor. If we're facing the property, we have one neighbor to the right. They just bought the property in April. I think a 2,500 square foot house, barn, and everything on there, and they paid like $870,000. And again, we paid $275 for the raw land. Plus, I had to pay $25,000 to finance it for a year. So all in all, we're going to be into it for $300. It's not cheap to get the power. Depending on where we can pull it from, it's going to be about probably $15 a foot, with the conduit and everything. So we're talking $15,000, $20,000 to pull power. Water's about $2,500. Cutting a road, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what these things cost, but we're going to find out. We're going to, bring you guys along so you can see the whole process.
Oh, you're going to see a lot. Step by step, from raw land to homestead.
Yeah. So when you're watching these YouTube videos, do us a favor and do everyone else a favor also. I didn't realize how difficult it was to make a video, and a lot of times you watch it and you just forget to hit the like button. But ever since we made our first video, I've made it a rule that every single video that I watch, I hit the like button. I don't even care if it was a good video. It's just my way of saying to the person, hey, listen, I see you. I recognize that you went ahead.
Time.
Yeah, time. Like if you're watching a 20-minute video, you got to understand that person probably put 40 hours into that video between filming, editing, and everything. So, it's a human interaction that doesn't cost you anything. It's literally hit the like button. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do.
Please do.
Please subscribe and so you get the notifications. We're going to not be very consistent in the videos in the beginning because we're only going to be able to do these videos when we fly out to Tennessee. So maybe one a month or one every couple weeks. But once we get settled into the property, then we're going to start giving you guys weekly videos.
Yeah, especially if someone somewhere in a big city is sitting right now and watching us and maybe thinking in the head, wow, I want to do the same. I don't know where to start. So we are the bright example.
Yeah.
Subscribe so you will see everything because it's a raw piece of land. Nothing in there besides birds and ticks right now.
Yeah, ticks are my biggest fear, to be honest with you. I don't fear, if there was 100 rattlesnakes on the property, I'd be like, no problem, but these ticks really freak me out because of all the Lyme disease. And being here in Vegas, 𝐸𝐸𝐾𝐭 has never had any tick prevention, no heartworm prevention, no flea prevention. We don't have to deal with that out here. So, I'm a little concerned I hate toxins. I mean, the whole reason we're going out there and all these, flea treatments are really toxic. I mean, they're neurotoxins. So if you guys, anyone out there living in the country has a natural method that works, please comment below. Let us know because I'd love to know.
Also. Yeah, and all of them have a big fur. So how to prevent our pets to get ticks, us to get ticks. If you guys have some tips for us, please comment below.
Yeah, it's natural things. I mean, so we'll see. But yeah, we're excited. Listen, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be challenging. But if you have a dream and you're looking to do something, all I can tell you is just do it. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and procrastinate. I mean, if you're telling yourself when I retire, if we're 70 years old, I don't think we'd be wanting to buy some raw land and go,
work.
Hiking through the bushes and getting ticks and trying to build something. This is now, while you're healthy.
Now or never.
Yeah, now or never. If you're healthy, do it. Quit procrastinating. Quit giving yourself excuses. Don't sit there and tell me it's because you don't have enough money. That's BS, okay? There's properties out there. You don't have to have 34 acres. I mean, I would have loved to buy 100 acres. There's people out there with 1,000 acres. Buy what you can afford. There's places in Tennessee. There's places in Kentucky. You can still get an acre or two for $15,000, $20,000 in some places. So quit procrastinating and make your dream come true and go for it. So come with us. We're going to take you on this whole trip. And if you have any questions at all, please comment below. And we'll try to get back to you and answer any questions that you guys might have. All right, well, I know we just did a lot of rambling, but we wanted to give you guys a little backstory on us and where we've come from and where we're going. So with all that being said, hit that subscribe button and let's head to Tennessee, and you can go ahead and come with us on this journey.
We hope you enjoyed the video. Join us again next week to see what's next in our journey.